So good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this session. I'm Sona from Inner Space Center. I doubt there's anyone online who doesn't know me, or anyone in the room who doesn't know me, but just in case. So I've been in the UAE for 16 years, and I'm one of the team who run Inner Space Center. So lovely to have you with us today. And I was sharing with someone today, I actually couldn't think of a topic. And I thought, well, what should I speak about at my next workshop? And I just thought, you know what? The basis of everything that we learn, the basis of my entire spiritual journey has been changing my awareness, changing my consciousness back to my original consciousness, the consciousness of soul. So I thought, well, why not talk just about that? Deepening soul consciousness. And many people ask, what does it mean? What does it actually mean to be soul conscious? What does it mean to be soul aware? I think for me, when I remember what my life is about, what am I doing here? What's the purpose of my entire journey? That is soul awareness. Keeping that quite emerged in me. And living my life according to that. That is soul awareness, soul consciousness. It's nothing difficult, nothing huge. It's just this simple understanding and reminder to myself. Because as I shift the purpose of my life back to truth, and when I say truth, I mean that which is aligned to my real identity of soul, then many things naturally fall into place. So we talk so much these days about emotional management. We talk so much about coming to a place of peace and acceptance. Another big topic these days is around forgiveness and letting go of the past. You know, these are things that I hear people talking about and asking me questions about. But yes, you can talk about those issues separately. What I've realized for myself is there's like a foundation, much deeper than all of this. And the alignment back to life as I was designed to live it means that I don't accumulate junk, rubbish on me that then I need to manage. You know, when we say past management, emotional management, all this management, you know, why am I needing to manage all this stuff anyway? Well, it's because I've created it. My husband works in the wastewater field. And often he says, you know, you don't need to manage waste if you don't create it in the first place. I'll repeat it. You don't need to manage waste if it's not created. So he's only in a job because we create waste, which is good for him. But the point is, internally, do I want to keep creating a lifestyle, but also an inner state that is not real, not truthful to either soul? Because what that means is I then have to manage. So I put an energy to managing something that I really didn't need to create in the first place. And the reason for all of that is the wrong consciousness, wrong awareness. So at the heart, at the core of everything that we teach is the understanding that a being on a journey. If you take anything away from this entire hour that we're together, remember we're a being on a journey. That's it. For me, that holds the greatest truth. Because I, the soul, am a guest in this world. This is law number one, or truth number one. And when I come back to that, when you're a guest somewhere, you're a guest in someone's house. What do you remember? What awareness do you have? You might appreciate things in the house. You might say, oh, that's beautiful, that's well done. But you know that it's not yours. You can't take things away with you. That's called stealing. Imagine going to someone's house and saying, oh, I like your sofa, I'm taking it with me. They'll never call you back, right? They probably won't let you go. They'll call the police. So the point I'm making is knowing I'm a guest means nothing is mine. No one is mine. And just this gentle reminder every single day. Like I said before, it sets many things into place. If no one is mine, it means I don't attach myself to anyone. Definitely, I live with them. Definitely, I care for them. Not because this one is my mother, my father, my friend, no. I care for them because it's my nature to care. Because I came into this world to care. So whoever comes into my way, whoever comes into my life, I care. Caring is different, but to get attached means to become dependent. So no one is mine and nothing. So no object, no iPhone, no iPad, nothing is mine forever. And I tell you, when you realize that, you immediately start to let go of many of the desires that are driving people's lives. The desire to have more. People's entire journey on this earth, some people, is all about accumulating more and more and more stuff. For some, it is more and more and more money. And what can I say? We do need, of course we need. We need enough in our lives to have a reasonable life, whatever that means to you. But I think most people in this room and also on the call, I don't know you all, but I can probably say the very fact that you have Wi-Fi and you're connected means that you're probably in the top 5% of comfortable people in this world. So you have time, you're not working, means that you have the weekend off, right? Not everyone has a weekend off. Some people work 7 days a week. So when you have enough to want for what? To just identify myself with things also comes because I've forgotten who I am. The being on the journey. And any journey, as we know, has a beginning and has an end. And, in some understanding, some faiths, they say that as is your life, so will be your end. As is your life, so will be your death. So how do you want to leave this world? Do you want to leave comfortably, easily, no pain, no sorrow? Or do you want to struggle because you're so attached to things? And the very thought that you have to go creates so much commotion. So a friend of mine, her dog died yesterday. And he had cancer. And he was a very beloved dog. He was 14 years old. And anyone who is a pet lover and who's had a pet at home knows the unconditional love of any pet, a dog, a cat, a horse, whatever. And 14 years of a relationship of love. And the interesting thing about animals is they don't give anything but pure love. They never manipulate you. They never say, I'll give you if you give me. An animal's love is so clean, so pure. The only thing they need from you is a little bit of food, and if it's a dog or a horse, a little bit of exercise, right? So obviously she was very distraught, crying. But then she suddenly said to me, you know what? He went peacefully. And I said to her, what does that mean to you? And she said, well, it's a big thing. Because he lived such a peaceful life. He was such a gentle soul. And the fact that he went peacefully and he wasn't struggling and he didn't have pain, she said that means a lot to me. She said he ate his last meal and then he was a bit breathless, and he wanted to go downstairs and sit by the pool, and then he left so peacefully. And so I guess I've been asking myself so much about the journey, my journey. If the journey is a reflection of how I'm going to leave, then how do I want my journey to be? The gentler my journey, the softer my journey, the more angelic my journey, the more I will spread that light, that love in me, but the easier it's going to be for me to transition when it's time to leave. So soul consciousness, and when I hold this awareness of guest on a journey, then it helps me to reposition my entire purpose on this earth. What did I come here for? I'll give you 1 minute now, just 1 minute, to sit with this thought, I'm a guest on a journey. And ask yourself, what energy do I spread? Have I been spreading, or am I spreading now amongst the people who are closest to me? People I live with, which might be your family, extended family, my friends, people I work with, people I interact with on social media. What energy do I spread amongst them? What kind of life, what kind of journey am I on? Just give you 1 minute. What kind of energy do I spread? And now, what kind of energy would you like to spread? Don't worry, you don't have to answer and tell me all your confessions, what you thought or what you could be like. But what kind of energy would you like to spread? If I gave you a week and said, okay, this is a week where you can be whoever you can be. You can be the best you can be. I just waved a magic wand and said, right, I'll make you the best that you can be for a week. What would you like to be? What energy would you like to spread that might be perhaps different to where you're at today? How could you reposition yourself? What qualities? What awareness? What vibrations would you like to send out? Those who you love, those who you work with. So someone has said being calm. That's beautiful. Pure, positive. Yeah, so this is soul consciousness. Just being aware of what energy I, the soul, am giving out on my journey. It's simple, isn't it? But it's so, so deep. Another side to soul consciousness and another big truth of this world is I came alone and I live alone. It's connected to the journey, but it has other implications as well. It means that I, the soul, stand with myself. It means that I, the soul, when I originally stepped into this physical world, not only did I come alone, but I came independent. Independent means not dependent on anyone or anything to be my original self. So I don't say that I can be peaceful if, or I can be loveful when. No, my original state is independent of anything happening around me. That's what it means by I came alone. Not just physically alone. I came alone, independent of anything popping me up. I am worthy of being me, independent of what other people are doing around me or what they're being around me. Imagine how worthy you are of being so clean and pure, even in the toughest situations. Not just worthy, but how capable you are. So, coming alone into this world, leaving alone in this world means that you don't need anyone to hold your hand to make you feel comfortable. It means I can leave this world independently. I don't need anything or anyone to give me leave from this world. I can fly away in my own right. Independence, many people say, oh, but we're humans, we live together, we're gregarious. Of course we are. The beautiful thing about human beings, the way I understand it anyway, is we live together, we live in families, we live in communities, we live in societies. But the original state of the soul is independence. Independence really means that I have the capacity to be me, no matter what is happening in the world around me. So it means that, not that I am unaffected, because unaffected sounds like you're very cold. You have no response, right? That's not true. That's not our way. But it means that I'm not influenced in a negative way. Of course I am affected if I see somebody in pain, if I see somebody who is unwell. If I say I'm affected by that, it means there's no level of care inside. There's no compassion. So the effect is a positive effect. The influence is a positive influence on me that way. That's fine. In fact, it brings out even more compassion, even more love. But I don't shake. So I am independent. That love, that peace, that compassion, they are always in me, unconditionally, independent of what's happening around me. And this is really what soul consciousness is. Somebody's upset, somebody's angry, somebody's disrespectful, somebody's not doing what I want them to do. That's often what it is, isn't it? I want you to be a certain way. I want you to do a certain thing. You're not doing what I want. Well, that's dependence. That's complete dependence on someone. I want you to be a certain way. And that will lead to a whole domino effect in terms of your relationship with them. It will mean that there'll be aspects of control. There'll be so much expectation, high levels of expectation. You should be like this, you shouldn't be like that. And then what happens when people aren't the way you want? You get so disappointed in them. And that often means People get angry, people get upset. You know, people have very emotional, disturbed relationships. But when I realized that I am not dependent on someone being or doing a particular thing for me to be the way I want to be, then my life is so much more stable. And this is actually what we call in the world out there, emotional mastery, emotional independence. So I came alone and I go alone. I am independent. Well, that's all consciousness. So now I'm going to ask you to do another little 1-minute exercise. Ready? So just sit back and ask yourself, what makes me shake? What situations influence me? They might influence me into a state of low self-esteem or low self-respect, where I feel down, I feel depressed. Or they might influence me into a state of superiority, which might cause ego, reactivity, anger. What situations affect me? Be very honest with yourself. Now ask yourself, why am I dependent on the situation to go my way? Or for people to behave the way I want? Why? Why does everyone need to be my way? Why does every situation have to be what I want it to be? And the last question, can you see yourself being the you that you described in the previous exercise? The 1 week, if I waved the magic wand, who you would want to be. Can you imagine yourself being like that? Independent, powerful, stable, even though situations and people around you aren't the way you want. Can you see yourself dealing with the unexpected, unwanted, no, not the way I want, in a stable, calm, peaceful manner? Okay, so this is another aspect of soul consciousness. The first was the soul or the being on a journey. The second is the lesson of independence. I am not dependent in any way on anyone or anything. I hope you're all with me and this is all making sense. And this is helping you to understand really how soul consciousness in practice is such a wonderful truth that helps us to realign life. Because otherwise we think of it as a very airy-fairy thing, right? And we sort of wonder, well, how does it work to shift consciousness or upgrade consciousness? But for me, until something has a practical usage and it helps to practically change my life and my relationships, well, what's the point? It's just head information, isn't it? It's just stuff that you can read and stuff in here, but then it's not actually helping me to become a more peaceful being, a more benevolent being in my life. So another very big truth about soul consciousness is around choice. I, the soul, have a right to choose. How does that link with soul consciousness? Well, being aware of the soul means understanding that I am responsible for me. I'm responsible for every feeling or thought. I'm responsible for every response, be it in words or actions. I'm responsible for everything that's coming to me in my life, everything on my journey, every event, every lesson, every person maybe, however it might be. Why am I responsible? What makes me responsible if you behave badly with me, to me? Well, because the law of responsibility says that my consciousness, my awareness, and the way I have sent out energy into the world is the way it will come back to me later in my journey. So if you imagine you're on this journey, right, on a path, whatever you send out is like a boomerang, and it comes back to you a little bit later on your own journey. The problem is when it comes back later and it knocks you in the head, you say, well, hang on, where did that come from? I didn't send that out. Not my fault. And, you know, we kind of start to play the blame game. The journey is responsible. Others are responsible. It wasn't my fault. All this sort of stuff starts to happen. And the blame game is one of the most critical points in your journey. The minute we shift responsibility from me to external to me, I've actually lost the power of choice. I become subservient to the world. I start to say, there's nothing I can do to feel okay under these circumstances. It's very deep. And so when I play this blame game, I'm actually giving away the power of choice. The power to say, well, whatever's coming, there's a reason. Whatever's coming is a lesson. Whatever's coming is for my own benefit. Whatever's coming is actually a step up. It's a way of uplifting my own consciousness. The minute I start to understand that, I've exerted choice. I've learned to use my intellect to choose positively, to see things from an angle of benefit, rather than, what can I do? It's not me, it's not my, I have nothing to do with it. And choice is synonymous with the word power. If you can choose, you have power. If you can't choose, well, you have no power. You have no strength. So soul consciousness means realizing I have choice at every second of my life. I have the choice. I have the power to decide, what am I going to do? In this moment, in this situation, one who has power and real clean intellect to choose, not only asks, what am I going to do? But they say, what's the best I can do? What's the best contribution I can make in this moment to create support, cooperation, adding goodness into any situation? Sometimes it means doing nothing. Recently, I was at a set of meetings, actually, and so there was a lot of sharing, and we were lots of friends together. And one friend was talking about one of our mentors. particularly her mentor, but I've also been, guided by this particular lady. And she said to me, there were times when she knew, the mentor, she knew that there was nothing she could do to change a situation. She knew that there was nothing she could do to move or shift the energy. And the lesson at that moment, the lesson for the person involved, even for her as a mentor, was patience. Sometimes the concept might be right, the timing is wrong. And so choice doesn't always mean action. Choice doesn't always mean making changes. Choice means choosing to be at peace with whatever is. Choice means adding the most positive, pure energy I can in any situation. And sometimes that means just being still, doing nothing, just sending out patience, perseverance, and clean, pure energy. Isn't that lovely? I thought for me that was a very nice message to take away. I can't always do things. I can't always fix things. If a baby has to be born after 9 or 10 months, you can't make it be born quicker, right? It needs that much time. And actually everything along our journey, it's almost like it needs to cook. It needs to ripen until the time when things can shift. So even in our lives, I need to realize that I have the choice to choose my own inner state and my inner consciousness. This is very powerful. This is soul consciousness. All right, so reflection. Okay, quick reflection. Think about your life and where you're at. And ask yourself, is there any moment where you can choose to put purer, cleaner energy into a situation than what you are today? Is there any person that you know towards whom you could have better energy, more loveful, more peaceful? How can you choose to upgrade everything that you are, your entire being? Remember, independent of what's going on around you, it's your choice to be at peace and to keep sending out that pure, clean energy. It's so important, to remember these truths about soul consciousness, because they help me to apply a pure awareness into my life. And now I'd like to take you through a few moments of reflection and meditation. So everyone put your pens down, put your phones down, and just sit comfortably on the chair. And if you're feeling a little bit tired, because you've been probably listening for about half an hour, a bit over, just put your hands in the air and just do this. You know what this does? This helps you to pump blood in your body. If you do this, if you put your hands in your arms anywhere above your heart and you do this, it pumps blood, keeps your blood flow going. So anytime you feel tired and you just want to quickly, either you raise your hands up and down like this, or you just simply do this, it just refreshes the body quickly. So sit peacefully, sit quietly. Feel the weight of your body on the chair. And as you feel that you are the being within this body, remember that originally and eternally, you, the being, came to this world so clean, so pure. Had no rubbish on you. You were not influenced by all the negative traits that you might feel you have today. Take yourself back to that awareness. And I realize I've been on a long journey. Just as any car on a journey, there've been some scratches, and maybe a few dents here and there. We can hold it, feeling, emotions, thoughts of the past, things that happened. But in this moment, right, I choose to remember that I, the soul, am infinitely able to love, able to be happy and at peace, despite anything that's happening around me. And this power of choice, the memory that I'm the being on a journey, is the basis of bringing me back to I, this beautiful, beautiful being, with an unbelievable awareness. I'm not subservient to life. I'm not dependent on anyone, anything, any situation to be that unlimited, loving me. I am independent and ever giving to the world. How powerful and how strong I feel in this awareness. Gently bring your mind back to the room that you're in and the place you're in. Just acknowledge the body that you, the soul, are sitting within. So, thank you for that. And I just wanted to remind you that you have the option to write questions or comments while I just cover the last little part of this workshop. And then I want to leave 5 minutes or 10 minutes at the end for your questions. So you can write them in the chat box. So if you like, if you really want, you can put your hand up and we can unmute you and you can speak. That's also possible. So the last point I wanted to bring up is that I, the soul, am a traveler. And the beauty of knowing that is that I'm actually not on my travels alone. I'm in a big bus. And when you're on a big bus going on a picnic, you ever been on a bus, and the food is at the front and the drinks are at the back and the chips are don't know where, and your book is up there in your bag. We'd never, ever travel alone. We travel with our community, our soul community, our soul friends. You can't get off the bus. There's no option. So, the essence of our life is to learn to be with our fellow companions. It's to learn how to, what I would call, harmonize. I love this word. Because if you think of an orchestra, everyone is playing their own instrument. And even sometimes many instruments of the same type, they're playing 2 different tunes. So actually, soul consciousness does not mean that we all become clones of each other. Sometimes people think, oh, when we are soul conscious, everything will be okay because we'll all be the same. Well, not at all. Not at all. Soul consciousness does not mean that we will see things exactly in the same way. I don't think we ever will through eternity. Because each one of us is so unique. And uniqueness means, obviously, there's going to be differences. But what it means to be deeply soul conscious is to learn to create music, to learn to create harmony, to learn to create cooperation and working together. And that requires one virtue, which it's probably one of the toughest virtues to ever imbibe. And it's the virtue of humility. It's the letting go of my ego and my entire personality. Letting go of what I believe is right and wrong. And really being open to learning and open to accepting things that are different to me. We come from different cultures, we come from different educational backgrounds, we come from different religions, we come from different countries. Each one of us brings something beautiful. In fact, that's why our world is so colorful. Imagine if we painted the world with just your color. I mean, how boring it would be. Monotone everywhere. Nothing to learn from anything. So harmonizing within this community, within the gathering, within your family, and learning to accept that each one of us is different and has our own challenges. This is the beginning and end of the game of soul consciousness. When I can harmonize within me, when I come to a place where I can actually accept all the different parts of my own personality. And I can be at peace with myself. And realize that even my own imperfections, areas that I'm working on, I'm not perfect. And that's okay. Then when I create that inner harmony, I learn to actually create a symphony around me. It's the same when you dance, right? When you have a line dance, or when you have a group dance, if you want to synchronize properly, everyone has to be watching out for each other. You can't do your own thing. If you're doing your own thing, then you're doing your own dance. It's like you're not even on the bus. So the reality is that isn't soul consciousness. That's solo consciousness, not soul consciousness. And solo consciousness is not what meditation is about. Soul consciousness means being happy to be with people, being okay being with people who are different to you. Not just being okay, but taking up that challenge to create and to maintain the symphony, no matter how many different instruments are around. So how much humility, how much acceptance, and how much love, expansion of my heart I need to be able to do that. Okay, so I've actually been speaking for a long time, and I'd like to give you an opportunity just for a few moments, 10 minutes. So it's not even 10 minutes, it's 7 minutes to 5. So for you to be able to say something. So if anyone in the room would like to speak, or if anyone online, do we have some questions online? That's good. With certain situation I'm going through at the moment. Thank you, V, for joining. Please, yes. Somebody with an iPhone wants to speak. You're welcome to ask a question or make a comment. We've just unmuted you. Would you like to speak still? We can't hear you, so are you unmuted? You or she, we don't know until we hear your voice. Okay, we still can't hear you. Fine. Yep. Lovely comment. Thank you. Any question? Comments? Anything you liked? No? All good? All right. Anyone else who'd like to ask anything or say anything? Mention something that you might have learned today that might help you to just deepen that awareness of soul and hold that special inner state. Hello. Is that Mariam?
Yeah, I miss you.
We miss having you here. It's nice to hear your voice online. Do you have
Yeah,
an answer for me?
you can know from my voice that I'm not much well. Actually, what your class today is like, it's meant to me because of what I'm going through. And I know you advised me many times not to care about changing others because they are as they are and me as I am. And just I do my best to feed my soul with positive things and remind myself that I'm a soul. But I don't know why this keep persisting inside me, that I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be good. When I see, like, especially in my family, I know I cannot change people outside my family, but even inside my family, I'm trying, like, my case. So I'm trying to help them to be better. I see them, they are getting worse, and I want them to remind them about their true self. You know, whatever I learned from you, I'm trying to apply it in myself, my life, and also I'm trying to help my family with. And I did my best. And I feel upset that why you guys don't want to change to be better? Why you don't want to know your better self? You remember yourself, you were not like this, you know? Inside me, I tried to tell myself, let it go, let it go, let it go. You did your part, and that's all. But why there is still resistance in me, I don't know. I really
So,
need a strong advice from you.
yeah, so the strong advice, something I said a little bit a while ago, but which I'll repeat because I learned this recently. After I was with you, I went for a set of meetings, and sometimes your wish is very powerful and it's very pure. And it really comes from, the depths of our heart, but it's not the right time. And we don't have the right to determine when something should happen in someone else's life. It's almost like, they have to go through their journey and then they have to realize when they want to change. Sometimes the best thing you can offer to others is patience and good wishes. And I'll tell you why it's the best thing, because it's the most respectful way of dealing with the relationship. If someone is not ready to change, suppose someone's unhappy and they come back to you again and again and say, I'm unhappy, or I'm upset, or I'm sad, or I'm depressed, whatever, right? Every time they come, they say the same thing. I know, we cannot change that person's mindset. In fact, it's disrespectful. It's not honorable to say that I want to change you, because that's not my life. It's not my duty. But the best thing I can do is just to be the highest me, send out the highest energy to them, and adding one thing to the equation: patience. I'm ready to wait for you to change when you're ready. This is so important. So I feel like, Mariam, you have the first part, which is good wishes. Really, you care from your heart and you're doing your own inner work. That's also going very well. The one thing that's lacking is the patience to allow others to do what they need to do at their time, not at your speed. Let others live their life at their speed. Okay? So I hope that helps.
Thank you, Sana.
Welcome. So Hamza, welcome. You can speak. Thank you, Richard and Natasha. Yes, Hamza?
Hi, Shanti, Sonia.
Hello.
Thank you for the beautiful session. I still find it challenging for me when, regarding the soul consciousness and then the alone conscious, to be alone and to be in silent and to be within and to be in, and then at the same time to harmonize those around me. Similar like Sister Miriam, what she mentioned, to be attached or not attached, that the balance is really weird for me still. I'm really, if we can have something regarding this would be appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, because we've been so used to being with people, but being influenced. It's like we opened ourselves to the influence and effect of people. So we are wired to think that being with people means being affected by people. We don't realize that I can be with people and yet be protected from influence and yet constantly giving. So previously, before I was a meditator, the energy of people used to come in. And what used to happen is that dictated who I was. That dictated how I felt. Being alone doesn't mean that I'm not with people. Actually, it means I am independent of their energy affecting me, and it allows me to affect them. See, energy will either go this way or that way. If I am subservient and dependent, energy flows in and affects me, and my mood goes like this. My inner state goes like this. If I'm with people, but I'm not affected or influenced in a negative way, then I am the giver. I can keep affecting them in the highest, purest, positive way. So the question is not to be alone or to step back or to be distant from people. No, carry on being with the people that you've always been with. It's different that you go on a retreat or you go, perhaps for a weekend away just to give yourself a breather and just to be able to reflect. That's okay. But generally be with the people that you are. But remember, make sure energy is always flowing out from you at the highest possible vibration. The minute you feel that effect is coming in and your energy levels are starting to go down, your inner state is coming down, it means the flow of energy is not correct. I'm not able to give the best that I can be. So the real aim in life is I keep being the best I can, energetically. I keep shining the light that's deep within me all the time, which means my words, my actions will be of that quality, no matter what anyone else is like. That's the trick. And the role of life and our old self is to keep pulling that state of energy down and keep making me be affected by everything around me. Then I'm not independent. Then I'm not functioning the way out of my own choice alone. So never to be distant, never to step away. And as I said to Mariam, sometimes I really need to differentiate between what is me and my area of duty or responsibility, which is this, and allowing them to function the way they need to at their own pace, in their own time, and just give them that space. I hope that helps, Hamza. It's so lovely to hear your voice always.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is my first meeting. My name is Prasad. I'm a lifelong buddy of Hamza. He introduced me. Thank you, Hamza. It's been a great meeting. Just want to say a few things.
Sure.
Hamza, being alone is not equal to being lonely. That's number one.
Mhm.
It's different. And when Sister Miriam was talking about her anxiety, my response would have been, well, the other people aren't ready yet. They're not ready yet. That you and I, we have become ready now. We could have become ready 25 years ago, not yet, but in our time came and theirs will come. So just be patient. And thirdly, I believe, ma'am, whatever you've said is fantastic. It takes a little practice. It takes a little time to stop shielding us away from negative energy from others and in radiating positive energy within ourselves, which we need to create. That's my comment. Thank you. And I really wish we can have another meeting soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your comments. And ultimately, I think the same message of if people are not ready, what does it require of me? It requires mountains of patience.
Just
And
like Buddha.
actually, I need mountains of patience towards myself as well.
Yeah.
Because each one's journey is something that takes time. And everyone's journey is at their own pace. We all have our own different challenges. And who are we to judge someone else? So patience and practice and lots and lots and lots of peace. And I think when we get that balance right of knowing what is within my area of concern and what is not, and also what to leave to the one up there, right? Because he also has something to do with it all. And once I get those three areas correct, then I'm really living my life from that consciousness of yourself. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm just looking at the clock now, and to those in the room, but also to everyone who joined online. How many did we have online? 20 online. So thank you so much, because I know you're from different countries around the world, and you've taken a precious hour out of your time out. Many, many, many blessings. Have a wonderful day. And for next week at 4 p.m. on the same link, same YouTube channel, I'd like to invite you to another workshop, and it's being run on the 3rd of next month. So it's the 3rd of, sorry, let me just get this right. The 3rd of the 8th, the 3rd of August. Thank you. And the title is Knowing When to Step In and When to Step Out in Life. I think it's so linked with the last few comments, the last 10 minutes. It's going to be run by Brother Arik, who will be in India at the time, but it'll be an online workshop. So knowing when to step in, when to step out. All welcome. Don't miss it, just 1 hour, 4 to 5 p.m. Thank you, and enjoy your soul conscious journey.